Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, starting with the NASDAQ here, just to have a look at the bigger picture here. So we've got wave 1 here and 2 here and 1 and 2. So we're going up for 3 here. We're looking at wave 4 here. And in some cases with this wave 4 here, wave 4s can get a little bit tricky. Now there's some stocks that will need to have one more leg down before pushing up, and there's other stocks that don't need to do that and they will just push up through here. The point of this though is just to point out that we're in the latest parts of the trend here. I mean, obviously there's still a long way to go, but just, you know, there's a beginning, a middle and an end to everything. So that's sort of where we are at the moment. The other reason I wanted to show this too is because the this market, I think it was the 13th or 14th of October, same for the S&P depending on where you are in the world. We've had this as the low here, and then we could look at this as wave 1 and 2 here. Okay, but some of the tech stocks are a little bit different because they, Apple is one of them, Amazon is another one. So there are stocks that actually started from this low here and would have this wave 1 coming up here. So there's a slight difference in some of the markets. I just thought I'd point that out because now that we're sort of getting closer to the top here in instance, we need to sort of gel you know, all the markets together in a way. Okay, so I mean, one of the other points here too is that you know, when we do get up here and we do, you know, because after 5 waves there's a correction, and this will take out the previous highs here. So there will be the case that folks will, you know, Elliott Wave people will you know, once they see a move down, because an A wave comes down quite quickly, they will consider that, you know, the recession is starting and all those sorts of things. So we'll have a B wave and we'll have a C wave here. Now, they could be right and we could end up with a much bigger bearish pattern here, but that's not really what I'm seeing in the stock market. So what we're seeing in the stock market is another move to the upside here. But as always, it doesn't really matter because that to me is just my opinion, you know, when other folks might say that, you know, there might be folks on my side that will say that it will go up and there'll be other folks that will say it will go down. So it all gets a little bit confusing. So I wouldn't really worry about it and worry about who's right and who's wrong and all the rest of it. All we have to do is just stay on point and stay with the evidence, you know, like when we do see 5 waves move down here, well, then we will pay attention to the first impulse wave that comes back, and then we'll start to build in. We'll have to get past a 3 wave structure here. We'll need to get 5 waves at that point. And even the 5 waves here just may be the A wave, and then we have a B wave, and then we could come down again. So it's a process of working through it. That's all I can say at that point, you know, and I think that's you know, from experience, that's a very practical way of doing it. If we can see, you know, from some stocks that, you know, we're definitely in a corrective move here and we're going to go up again, then, you know, we'll do that. One of the interesting things though, you see how we've got wave 3. Well, we've got wave 3, 4, 5 here. So I have mentioned that we need to turn long on the banks, and that would be even BAC, which has got a sort of a bearish pattern. We need to turn bullish on that, and we'll need to sort of turn bullish on basically all the banks. And also we looked at this chart the other day. This was the it depends if you've got the KBE or the KRE here for the regionals here, but we're seeing this impulse wave to the upside. We don't have an impulse wave here yet. We only have 1, 2, 3 here to the 50–60%. So I'm not going to suggest to go long here in this particular market because we'll just be going into a lot of 4s and 5s. But when it pulls back here, then we can look to move up into this 3rd wave here. Now, how far this pulls back is another question, and we'll focus on that a bit. we'll go for that longer trade in this ETF here. We should have our new website up this month. We're in the final sort of stages of getting the crypto portfolio together and a few other little things. So we should be sort of ready to sort of look at, catching this up. But we'll catch it up anyway. I'll just do it through the video. But anyway, I just want to point that out, that all banks are bullish at this point. Most of the banks that I can, ones that we sort of track a little bit. Okay, so yeah, so this other bit that needs to, well, once this tops out here and will it go up there further? I think that it will, and I'll show you that with not so much Apple, but with Amazon. We'll get to the Amazon chart in a moment. But this is the same thing here as well. So these lows here were in January and not the October lows over here. And Amazon's much the same. So there's tech stocks that are here and here on these, So it does sort of throw a little bit of a spanner in the works up at the other end here, but it's not a big deal. I mean, this wave 4 is going to be pretty obvious. I've got this counted up here in different ways. I don't think it makes a lot of difference. We're still going to see the market work around this 200 number here. So we'll be an above and a below there. We'll end up with a much larger classic trading levels pattern across this level up here. This is a weekly chart. So we'll end up with, we're coming up here at the moment. So we'll see a wave 4 pullback and then a wave 5, and then we'll see a larger correction here. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky. I mean, this wave 1 here, this is weekly here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, a month. There'll be a month for that one to move up. This one here could be, 3 or 4 months, depending, those sorts of things. So anyway, we'll just cruise into this. Just wanted to sort of paint that sort of bigger picture here for a moment. And we'll do that with Amazon, but even a bigger picture. So here we can look at, so yeah, like I said, I can count this from this Jan low here. We can also look at this in a different light here too, as a wave 2 here as well. But this move up through here, this is sort of what we're looking at here to finish this off here. So yeah, all these 1s and 2s in here, these will be the 3, the 4s and 5s in here till we get to this one up here. How far will we come up here? Well, it's normal to end up within group 1 here. So 230, 220, 210. This will be the, it's this space here that will basically hold whatever corrections are in there at that point. I mean, this has been running a pretty tight sort of trend. But yeah, the main point here is that I could count this in different ways. I could put this orange wave 3 here, but I don't think it makes a huge difference at this point. It's the same here with the NASDAQ here as well, when I said that on the NASDAQ that we've got some stocks that can go to here and go straight up, and then other stocks that can go to here, and then come down again. So we're just going to have to be a little bit careful what we do here. It looks a bit tempting to go long, and we can do that. We just need to do the right thing at the right time. So we'll be taking a closer look at that. So that's on one day. This will be 20,000 ticks. So this will be a slightly different count. This will have wave 3 here with wave 4 here going up for wave 5 for this wave 3. See, the 4s and 5 doesn't really make much difference. They won't make much difference, basically, but I mean, I still got to get it sorted, and then if I go to the 5K, which I think is slightly different again, or could be the same, I can't remember. Oh yeah, much the same as well. So I think that we've got a corrective pattern in here as an ABC. So there is a good chance that because that's corrective, we can go up from here. At the same time, we can also finish off here and go this way with it. But basically, we can look for a little classic trading levels pattern here if you want to go long further to the upside at this point. So it is possible to put that there. It's also possible to put that there. Okay, so it matters and it doesn't. You could end up with 2 or 3 sessions to the downside before going to the upside. So it depends if you've got leverage and all those sort of things. Otherwise, we'll be looking for, in a nutshell, we'll be looking for wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and it'll get a bit messy, you know, around here for this trading around large numbers. So I suggest if you're trading long here, then, you know, just getting out at, or taking a big chunk off at least at the 200 is the way to go. So I'm going to go from here to, I won't go to 1000, we'll just go to 100 here because I don't want to burn up too much time, but we need to sort this out a little bit here. So yeah, we've got some trades in here, but the thing is that the market could come back. The market could do this. It could come down to here, this bottom of this trend line, and then push up. So I don't know if you want to hold through that. If you want to, then you just need to leave the stop out of the way at that point. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way to look at this is that we can put wave 1 in this little move here and wave 2 to come back. Oh, we've got a little wave 2 there. We've got a little wave 2 here, and then pushing up from here. And then we can also put this wave 2 here and wave 1 over here for this. So we've got wave 4 here with blue wave 1, blue wave 2 here, and then wave 1 here, and then wave 2 here, and then going up at that point. There's that pathway for it. There's also this pathway for it, down and up again. So I was thinking that the best way around this situation is to work with group 2 if you wanted to go long. So going long above this top here is fine. But this number here, the 19650, the beginning of group 2 here, the 72 and the 8 there. So what we need to see here is the first high above the level here. And once you've got that first high above the level, then you can go long above that if you wish, because otherwise we'll be going down at that point. So it kind of just draws a line in the sand and makes life a bit simple. So yeah, that's all good. I mean, Apple's one of the stocks that would probably lead to the upside, more so than coming to the downside, because the corrective pattern here would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to this top here. So anything, you know, above that, this can also come down here as a little A, B, and C here, and then push up through there as well. So I'll leave you to do that there. But yeah, we should end up, if this is 1 and 2 here, we should end up further up here somewhere, you know, like in the, this is 10 here, you know. So when you get onto the smaller tick chart here, it makes everything look quite big. So yeah, we'll be looking for wave 3 up here somewhere for that. So it's quite a good trade, you know. I mean, so that's that. That's Apple, and this is Amazon here on a weekly chart, and it's also log scale as well. So I can see here that we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It's possible you could put wave 1 over here, but still, whichever way you want to look at it. And then looking at all of this as wave 3 up here, and then wave 4 here. And the reason I'm showing this for is because, you know, I mean, Amazon was one of the, you know, I don't know how many survived really, you know, when this happened in the year 2000. There's not many companies that came out of this alive, really, was there, really? So it kind of reminds me of Bitcoin, really. So even if this was wave 4 here, right, we'd have wave 5 up here. But even once we got up here, you know, that would be from here to here for that. And then there would be a wave 4 here. And then there'll be another wave 5, looking at even this one here. And there's probably, this is all the data I've got on this, but there would be, you know, there's probably more to it than over here as well, obviously, you know. So I don't see the end of you know, the stock market and the world and all of that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? It's I mean, it's something that's got to be sort of viewed. I mean, if we could see 5 waves up, we're going to finish, well, there's going to be a correction there. But in the bigger picture and scheme of everything, you know, there will be, you know, I mean, I mean, this one here hasn't even reached its 50-60% retracement level up here yet. So it could reach up, and it hasn't got 5 waves up here, by the way. You know, there's a bit of a spike there, but basically, you know, we could just get 3 waves up here, and then we'll have an A and a B and a C. While the others are pulling back for their 1s and 2s, we could actually come down here again, and this wave 4 needs to go over here on this one. There's a few of them like that. We'll see how they go. But if I can see 5 waves up to the 61.8%, you know, we can see wave 1 here and 2 here. I'm not really including that spike actually. But if we can get, you know, 5 waves from the low here up to here, then I know that that 5 waves up here, that's going to produce, you know, an ABC after that, and then push up again at that point. But I don't know that yet, so we don't have that 5 wave structure here. But if we do, then we will have, you know, 3, 4, and 5 up here for this. So that's going to take a long time. So that tells me that, you know, the bull market that we're in at the moment, some of these stocks, have to remember, have taken out the top here, you know, already in, you know, in the markets. You know, the NVIDIAs of the world is one of the prime examples, of course. So if they got 5 waves up to here, then you could call that a top in play, couldn't you? But then when you get stocks like this that are slow off the mark a bit, and they don't even have 5 waves up, but if they get 5 waves up, well, then they'll have this up here for when those stocks top out. You could call it wave 5 at that point, but then you look at Amazon, and you'd have to look at Amazon as wave 1 and 2 here, you know, and then have the 3rd wave up at that point. So yeah, this is, you know, the big lady's still singing really, so it's not really a problem, but there will be, you know, strong pullbacks and all the rest of it at that point. So anyway, I just wanted to sort of shoot the breeze on the bigger picture a little bit today. And right, so where are we? Weekly. So we'll go to the daily chart here, and we can look at this as wave 4 here. You know, we can view this as a corrective move down here. This is the 61.8% at the 150 here. Do we have 5 waves up here? Do we call it an impulse wave? No, we can't do that yet. You know, technically we could also view this as a wave A here and a wave B here, and going up for a wave C at that point, and that leaves us with 3 waves up here, you know. I don't think that's the case, but if I can get this, turn this into 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then then we've got all of this up as wave 1, do you know? And it probably won't take the high out. Anything could happen, of course, you know, could extend or something, but yeah, that's sort of where we are. So this spike here puts a bit of a spanner in the works when in counting all of this. So I'm not too far off here, having this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I know that I can also put wave 1 down here. I could put wave 1 here. There's a few different counts that I'm running on this. So I'll just keep running them till, you know, until I see things. You know, I can see that we've got a nice, from here to here, we've got a nice structure within this particular space. This is also another one too that could play out with wave 4 over here, and an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. But this move, yeah, anyway, it's possible. We'll go in and have a bit of a look at that. So this can be counted up in different ways here. I'll just go to the 20K here. It might be different. Yeah, so I've got this one different. It hasn't got to this particular wave 3 here yet. So there's, yeah, I'm just still sort of toying with it, but I know that we're in 4s and 5s, so it's not gonna, you know, the labeling of it's not really going to bother me, but obviously it'd be nice to have it worked out. But so anyway, just sharing what I have done, what I know and what I don't, and just trying to sort of stay on point. So we can see the stochastics down here. We can see that this is likely, you know, on this trend line and all of that, and it looks like it wants to push up here. So that's probably the case at this particular point. But it will just make another high here and then correct. So let's just go into, see what I've got on the 5K here, probably. Okay, so then I've got this one here. So basically what we've obviously been talking about, patterns across this 130 level. And the 130 level is really important. It's the top of minor group 1 of 100. So getting support on here is critical, because it sets the target at 150 after that. And yeah, so we've really got the arrival here, which really was a bit, you know, it was quite complicated. And we've reacted from that arrival at the 130. Then we've got the first high above the level, and then we've got some type of correction here. So this is the place where we need to look to go into being long here. On the 5,000 ticks here, we can see the stochastic sort of pushing to the upside here. So we just need to be a little bit careful about that. So we're just going to go from 5,000 ticks to 100 ticks and bring in a bit more data here. Probably don't need a lot. Maybe double that, I think. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I can count this down from the top here down in 5 waves. So we can view it as an A wave. We can look at this as an A, B, and C wave for the B wave. So it is possible for it to come down here and then go up again at that point. If this is on the bullish side, if this is going up here, it's possible for it to come down here and then push up here again as well. So I could put this here as an A and a B and a C wave to this, to this point here. So there's 2 ways to look at this, and I don't have the most, sexiest 5 wave move up here as well. So there's a few issues with this. So what I will do is just revert to the trading levels. We know 130 here is the top of minor group 1, and then 1, 2, and 3 is the top of subgroup 1. So what we're looking for there is support on this level. So we want to find this pattern here on the 133 here. So we need to wait for the first high above the level, and then that can just fold back, and then we can go long above this one, and this one over here. So that will basically present a situation that because it does look like we've got a bit of an impulse wave up here that may not be completed yet. It looks pretty much like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like wave 1 to here, doesn't it? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So that means that we will see probably, can I count that as 5 waves? Yeah, probably just, I don't know. Looks like 3 waves here because that low hasn't been taken out. Anyway, the close is always a little bit iffy. We don't want to put too much emphasis on that. But what we're looking for is some type of move up here, and if you can count 5 waves, including that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be good. And then there's going to be some sort of retest of this. So that's really, that's, I'll just leave it at that top there at that point. You want that number there as the support. This all this here now is going to become the support for this over here, so that you'll be able to bring that down onto the second level there at some point as well. But yeah, and maybe if you do take this trade and you make a mistake, perhaps be prepared to hold it here before going up again, And then we'll try to buy back in over here as well, try to build some positions over here, because we know the market's bullish, So it's just a matter of how to go. And if this is successful here by the buy, then you want to be adding in group 2 here. So when group 2 here, the 3650, once that becomes the tested support, you want to be getting into that. Now, sometimes you can't do that. It's a bit tricky, so you might end up on top of the 72. It doesn't matter. Just getting one position in group 2 is really the go, because you're going to get another classic trading levels pattern. This is going to come up here and it's going to muck around here, and then it's going to push up here, and then it's going to push back, and then it's going to push up, and then it's going to do all this, and all this over here will become the support before it goes up, and then we can go long again over here once it's done its little trick, So that's the way that we can view all of that there. I'm just going to clean my mess up, because if I don't make my bed when I get out of it, it's not going to happen. Okay, so we know all of that. So I've burnt up a little bit of time, so we'll just cruise along a little bit. So NVIDIA here, we're looking at wave 3 and 4, and then going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So you can see how that we're just getting, this is group 2 here and 65. You can see how it hit here, then it went up here and come back, and now it's sitting in here in group 2. Little impulse wave here. So this, you can go long in here if you want. You can add to these. I'm just moving. I have moved the stop out of the way because we had the stop here. I just wanted to move it out of the way a little bit, because just in case we get some type of pullback in here, before going up again. So yeah, in the bigger picture here, we can look at this. I don't know about the daily. I don't know what I've updated and what I haven't. It doesn't matter, we can look at it in different ways. Okay, so yeah, anyway, this is what we're looking for, a move up there. So, but this is the sort of bigger picture. Let me just have a look at the 20k tick for a moment. Okay, this is a little bit cleaner. Yeah, so there's still basically, there's this to go, then there's this, and then there's this at least. I mean, 5 is the second strongest number here. So normally what we'll do is just trade here, get out, and then wait for the setup with the classic trading levels pattern at this point. This trend does need to be rebalanced a bit. But yeah, anyway, that's where we are there. So we come to meta platforms. So we're looking at wave 3 and 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then moving up here higher. I could even move that around a little bit. We should end, basically it's trying to leave this number, the 300, and the thing about that is that once we get this here with a classic trading levels pattern of one description or another here, then we're leaving this number here and we'll be pushing up higher here for this. I could rearrange, I haven't really checked inside this spike here, so I could put this here as 1 and 2 here. And I could put this wave 3 here and this wave 4 here and this wave 5 over here for this, and that would bring this wave 3 across here. So it doesn't really matter. It's just that you just need to look for a classic trading levels pattern on that 330 here, because you get support here. That's going to take you straight to 350. After number 3 is number 5, and there will be a little bit of a dance across there, and then we'll push up again at that point. We can push these up. Something like that for that top to come into play there. So yeah, all a bit of a long trade there. So we'll call that a trade. We'll just pretend it's a green line for a moment. You could go into here and put the stop well out of the way back here somewhere. That would also work. Give you a better price. Just need to hold a little bit of red. Hold your breath for a little bit. Okay, so Netflix is another situation here that can be on the bearish side here. I don't know if we've actually, it looks a little bit impulsive here, but I'm not going to call a trade in for Netflix, put it that way. They don't have good results. I don't think they can pull a rabbit out of their hat in terms of inflation, but they should follow the market up higher. I just don't, look, I honestly don't know if it's going to go straight up from here or we got some situation like this here. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could go along on top of group 1 here, you know, with the support here. That's if you had to go long, that's what I would do at that point. If you like this stock, if you can see a classic trading levels pattern on 430, then you can go long at that point. But I'm not going to call it in because I can't see inside here for a start. So that's sort of. And then the other point here is, you know, I can count this as 1, 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave here. So that means I could have an A, B, C pattern here and then come down. So I kind of got to remove that. It's not, I mean, I could look at it as a corrective pattern, I guess, but yeah, I just don't know. I'm not going to do anything with it. I don't know. I mean, Alphabet's coming along quite nicely. So I also had, last time we spoke, I had wave 3 sitting over here. So what I've done now is I've put this wave 1 here and 2 here. And then I've looked at this one here as 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 for 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5 for third wave, fourth wave here, and then the fifth wave here. Now what I don't know is I don't know if this here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up for the third wave here, and then the fourth wave coming into here and then going up, or we come to here, the fourth wave now, and then go up. but we were looking to take profit up here somewhere. We can move that up here higher, because if we can get support on this 130 top of group 1, then we can look to be going up to the 150 at that point. So we'll just play this out. The market's bullish. We'll just stay with the trend. That was one of the reasons of building in at the beginning of these moves here. Can we add here again? Yeah, I think we can. Because I think this is all just the third wave here. I don't know. I don't think we've got the fourth wave to come in just yet. I might have it a little bit wrong here. Just keep the stop well out of the way. Okay, that's the main thing. If you're going to get another position here, just keep the stop out of the way. But we've got nice profits there, so we'll just chill on that. Microsoft. I don't really understand this little pattern down here, actually. Can't really get my noggin around it. I can see a couple of possibilities, but none of them are that sort of strong. I mean, we did have 5 waves here, and then we should be getting another 5 over here. This has come back up quite high here. We've probably got the low in here. I mean, normally we'd look to go long above the B wave, but I was thinking that if we get a classic trading level pattern across the 140, then we could go up. So we need to see, we've got the arrival here. It's arrived. We're in the reaction stages of it. We need that first high above the level, and it may just come to here, and then push up. It may come to here and do this and then push up. It can drop below the level. So it can drop below the level here, or it can do this here. But the trick is start from the top, make sure you get triggered in at that point, and then come down to the second one at that point, And also have a look at what the price is over here, because you probably get another little classic trading levels pattern in there. So it might be, you might find 43. I mean, if I was intraday trading, I'd be looking at 43 to add on here, and then I'll be adding on 45. I wouldn't get involved at 8 or 50. I'd wait for the 50 to give me another classic trading levels pattern here as well before I went back in, So getting two positions around the low here, here and here somewhere, and then building in over here once this has got the support. That's the best way to do it. And then you'll just work out your stops, and once one level becomes a tested support, then you can move your stop. Okay, so Tesla here. This is another one I can see in both waves. I could see that. I was looking for wave C down here, and that's possible because I can go an A wave, an A, B, C for the B wave here, and then up to the C wave here. That should come because it didn't come break the low down here. Didn't have to either, but because it came quite close here, that means it'll just nip out the top here. But I'm thinking when it does nip out the top here, if it comes up here and nips out that previous top and leaves us with that top there, then we can go long above that top. That's what I'm thinking. Because I can look at this here. This is a little bit weird. There's a couple of ways I can count this down here, by the way. Over here, I've counted as an A, B, C for the A wave and a B wave here, and then down at this point. But I could also look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and then an A, B, C, D, and E here. And you'll say that it's overlapping, but when you've got a triangle pattern in here, then it's okay to overlap wave 1. The book says that, but not that I, adhere to that too much in today's world with leverage and low volumes and those sort of things. I can see this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So we could probably put wave C here and look at this as wave 1. So I don't know if we got this as the low or we come down here for this. And I can see this could be counted differently as well. I can count this. I mean, this here is, I could put this here as the third wave here, and a fourth wave here, and then I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I could put the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave over here. And then I could also look for this as wave 1 here and wave 2 over here, and still have that as an ABC pattern here. So there's different ways I can view it, and to me they're all satisfactory. So yeah, we could go up further here. So I'll leave you to sort of figure that out. But I was thinking a nice tested support on 272 would do the job if you fancy that, you know. But the other thing too is if it came up to here, it would come down here and then it would move up from that point. That's you know, you'd have to hold that. So if you're happy with that, then, you know, anyway, that could just be like half a trade here, you know, or quarter or third, and then add over here again as well. So we should get up to 320 and move up here further on all of that when it's done anyway. So anyway, that's that. Alrighty, sorry for such a long video. Enjoy the week ahead. Cheers.